Bonnie Proudfoot. She was raised in Queens and currently lives in Athens, Ohio. Her debut novel, Goshen Road, Swallow Press, was named the WCONA Book of the Year and longlisted for the Penn Hemingway Award. Her poetry chapbook, Household Gods, can be found at Sheila Nagig Editions. Bonnie's fiction, poetry, reviews, and essays have been nominated for Pushcart Prizes and Best of the Net.
Somebody's phone.
Oh, yes. Try to lose that all day long.
Just wanted to say hi. Thank you so much all for coming out. Thanks to the library too. Can you hear me all right?
Mm-hmm.
How about now, right?
Actually, you need to be a little closer to the mic.
A little closer to the mic?
Well, move the mic to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just at the time.
Yeah, just move it.
Down like that?
Yeah.
Good,
Just
good.
move the mic closer to you.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks. Thank the other Octave poets for inviting me to come along on this wonderful reading. I grew up in Kew Gardens, Queens, a neighborhood that became infamous for a particularly sad event that stayed with me for decades. And this book is sort of a coming of age book, and I had to write about the murder of Kitty Genovese, so this takes place in my old neighborhood. And it's a poem in two parts. The first part is called Scar. If my old neighborhood is my body, and PS 99 is my head, and the big park is my right hand, then Kitty Genovese is my mouth, train tracks zippering through. Under streetlights, apartment units rise behind storefronts. German deli, Turkish coffee, Hungarian pastries, Italian pizzeria, Polish, Chinese, Spanish spoken here. Orthodox Jews in long black coats gossip and scold in 200-year-old Yiddish. Parents hush children and herd them indoors, spikes driven deep from citizen spies and secret police. In a shop window, plucked ducks and geese dangle by their feet. I live on Don't Street, a street that has eyes. Don't let me catch you, don't get your father, don't stay out past, don't break your grandmother's, don't stare, don't be there in the first place. Beside trash bins, pigeons cluster and coo. To have a scar, first there must be a wound, and in some cases, screams. Danger pulls his car over, finds a parking spot, and waits. To act means to summon authorities, to mind someone else's business. Kitty Genovese manages a bar, lives with a woman, walks home from work, calls out as he slams her into a doorway. She rings the buzzers to get in, but everyone covers their ears, the quiet, deafening. If teeth are bricks, the tongue has to be a jackhammer. Blood on the sidewalk, photos at 11. What about the last couple, the ones who had the chance? Are their children tucked in, blinds closed behind them? It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? This is the second part of that poem, written a couple of years later. I revised myself a little bit as I found out more information, and I didn't want to jettison the first, but I wanted these to live side by side. So here's the second poem. It's called What If? What if you spend your whole life thinking something happened because everyone said it happened, and then find out it didn't exactly happen like that? Take my neighborhood, Kew Gardens, 1964. Take the murder of Kitty Genovese so many years ago that generations passed. Most of the witnesses are gone, and maybe their grandchildren do not know what to think. At the big park, there's no such thing as time. The ball still smacks the wall, comes back, smacks the wall again. They call it bystander syndrome, when people think that others will help, so they don't do anything, even screaming when a woman shouts in pain with her final breath. Someone will report it, they think, as the theory goes. And someone did, actually. Someone yelled, "Stop!" Robert Moser. Temporarily, the killer ran away, but when the coast was clear, he came back. Someone sat with Kitty, waiting for the police. Sophie Farrar. Names not mentioned by newspapers, although 38 other people did witness Kitty Genovese being attacked. To have a syndrome, we must have enough people who do something or do not do something, then a team of experts who name what they did or didn't do. Then it's a syndrome. What if we fail each other more times than we know, and in more ways than we know? What if to speak means to open a knot of rage and grief? When a wound heals on a body, it stitches tight, but what if the scar is over your lips? What if every time you want to speak, it tears open again? Would you heal? What if the ones you love say, "Hush, not now, just hush"? What I mean is that so many did not help, and 2 people did help. No one recalls the names of those who did. The next poem I'd like to read was inspired by a poem I read by Camille Dungy. The poem has an epigram from Basho that reads, "Its useless nature itself is the reason to admire it." The setting recalls my days at PS 90 on 108th Street near Jamaica Avenue. It's a list poem. This poker and dawdler, this dollop of perpetual contemplation, this pencil twirler, finger weaver, finger up nose, finger in ears, finger in navel, audience of one, this knot of perplexity, molehill of monkey business, detour finder, this nick out of time, unclocked, tunnel of undone, unbustling, unhustling, deepening canyon of window starer, squirrel glimpser, gum popper, stuck gum under the desk picker, out of the lines scribbler, eraser crumbler, last inline hall stander, punchline misser, fish tank drifter, all wishy and flying fishy, this nudnik, space cadet, out of this world, planet of separate parts, absent that day, question dweller, syllable sounder, answer loser, mitten loser, crayon smeller, beautiful soul, saved by the sweet holy bell. Thank you all, and my final poem this evening goes out to all those who have been the victims of gun violence, but especially to the students and teachers. It was written in May of 2022, not long after the shooting at Uvalde, Texas, and also not long after the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe was leaked to the press. Both things happening right around the same time. It is dedicated to my now 3-year-old granddaughter, Ren. It's called Coloring Book with Secret Superheroes for Ren. This is a coloring book without lines. This is a coloring book where Jane wears any clothing she feels like wearing, and so does Dick, and both of them won't carry a gun. In this book, guns are not invented. Still, this book is full of action figures. Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, and Harley Quinn, ones who move in mystery and ones who delight in mayhem. All the superheroes use their powers to keep sharp things out of babies' reach, even though they shine. There's a secret superhero in the book, and it is you, Ren. You can find her here. This is a book that cheers for you, who can almost roll over, who has never worn a shoe, who can eat her bare feet, who marched at 6 months of age, well, sort of marched, for women's choice. This is a coloring book that says it's okay to use all the colors. Be who you are. It hopes you see the light that shines through your like gray eyes. A book that looks like a mirror of love. It smells like your breath, that is a mirror of milk. That marvels at the impressionist masterpiece that is your diaper after eating peas and beets. And that is only something a nana would say. Yes, this book has another secret superhero, Nana Man, who has the power to stop a gun from firing at a supermarket or a school or a church or a synagogue. Nana Man is the conscience of the world, or some kind of weird spirit. Don't ask me how he works. The book knows that babies come here with all the colors that they will need, and when all the pages are clasped together, it prays that the world does not start taking those colors away too soon.